Good morning, children. Now we'll continue the class of 4th standard science, and in last class we saw, children, about the matter and materials. At first we got matter and materials. So in the previous class we saw about the materials and their properties. So we saw about the properties of the materials. Now next we will see now transparent, translucent and the opaque objects. Transparent, translucent and opaque objects. Okay. Now first we will see about the transparent. See about transparent. Now what is transparent? Now some objects allow the light to pass through them. So some of the objects allow the light to pass. Transparent, allow the light to pass through them. Okay. Now this helps us to see through them as a window of a bus. For example, we always go in a bus. We have sit in a bus. Now the bus has a window. Okay, the mirror is there. So what do we see? If we close the window also, we can see the objects that is on the other side. Yeah. So we can see the objects that is on the other side from the window. So that is a transparent object, that is allow the light to pass through them. When the light passes through them, what happens? We are able to see the objects from the other side. So transparent objects allows the light to pass through them. Example I said, window of a bus. Now we will see different objects which behave with the light. Now first we said transparent, that is which allows the light to pass through them. So we can see other objects clearly through transparent objects. So we can see the other objects clearly through this transparent. Then for example we can say air, glass and pure water. So for example here they have given an example. There is a glass, water is there. Here one torch. When the light is passed, what happens? The light passes through them. Light passes through them. So we can see the objects on the other sides to this transparent object. So they are called as a transparent objects, that is allow the light to pass through them. Okay. Then example also I said window bus. Okay. Then translucent objects. So what is translucent objects? Translucent objects, that is which only allows only some of the light to pass through them, which allows some light to pass. Okay, which allows some of the light to pass through them. So we cannot see objects clearly. So what happens? We cannot see clearly like the transparent. In the transparent we can see clearly, but in the translucent objects we cannot see the objects clearly, but we can see as a blurred image. Blurred na mangala irukadhu. Okay, we can see blurred na another mangala. We can see the blurred image through them. Okay, we can see the blurred image only. That means only some of the light passes. Okay, for example is paper soaked in the oil. Soaked na uravikadu. Okay, oil, paper soaked in the oil. In that we can see the blurred image. And snow. Snow means what? Pani. Okay, and vegetable oil. Thavara enna solralliya? In these and all, when we see the objects will be blurred, will show us a blurred image. So they are called as a translucent, that is which allows only some of the light to pass. So here's a torch means the light pass only some of the light. Only some light allows some light to pass through them. These are called as translucent objects. Next is opaque objects. So what I said next is opaque. So first we saw transparent, which allows the light to pass. Translucent is which allows only some of the light to pass through them. Next, opaque. Opaque objects do not allow the light to pass through them. Opaque objects do not allow the light. Do not allow the light to pass through them. Okay, so transparent I said which allows the light. Translucent objects allows only some of the light. In opaque objects it does not allow the light to pass through them. For example, wood, stone and metal. So even a book also you can take. It's an opaque object. Can I see the objects on the other side if you keep the book? No. So it is as an opaque object. Now there was transparent objects allow dash, that is allow the light to pass through them. This is the answer. Transparent objects allow the light to pass through them. The next I have asked translucent objects. Translucent objects allow some light to pass through them. Allow some light to pass through them. The next I have asked opaque objects allows no light to pass through them. Allows no light to pass through them. So these are the definitions of transparent, translucent and the opaque objects. So what is the definition for transparent objects? Which allows the light to pass through them. That is, we can see the objects on the other side clearly through this transparent objects. Then translucent objects which allows only some light to pass through them. That is, a blurred image can be seen. We cannot see the view clearly, but we can see the blurred image through them. Then opaque objects. This does not allow the light to pass, that we cannot see the objects on the other side. So this is called as a opaque objects which does not allow the light to pass through them. The next they have given some of the objects. We have to write whether it's a transparent, translucent or opaque. Now first one is a water bottle is there. That is fully opaque. We cannot see anything. So first one is an opaque. Then next is oil. That is translucent. Then water is there. Transparent. Then glass. Transparent. Then wood is there. That is opaque. That which does not allow the light. And next is fog, translucent. Pani motor already, that is translucent. Next, we will see the reflection of light. Now we see the world around us with the help of light. So with the help of light only we are seeing. Where do we get light from? Light may be either from the sun or from the sources like electric lamp or the bulb. Either we get the light from the sun, or in the house we use, what do we use for light? We use electric bulb or electric lamps to get the light. Then the objects that give off light are called as light sources. So there are objects that give light objects that give off light are called light sources. So, what is light? The objects that give light are called as light sources. Next. Now, when light falls on a transparent material, it passes through it. So already I said it allows the light to pass through them. What are the transparent objects? Now, however, when light falls on a polished, that is a polished surface of an opaque material. Opaque material is what? Which does not allow the light. So if it falls on a polished surface, what happens? It does not pass through it. But what happens? It bounces back. It comes back to us. So it bounces back. This bouncing of light by any smooth or polished surface is called reflection. The bouncing of light by any smooth or polished surface is called reflection. So what is reflection, children? The light Bouncing of light by any smooth or the polished surface is called as a reflection. Next, when you look into the mirror, so mirror means what? Kannadi. Okay. When you look into the mirror, we can see our own face on the mirror. So what do we see in the mirror? We see our own face. That is, what you see is the reflection of your face. Okay, what we are seeing on the mirror is a reflection. Pradibalipu solrani, it's a reflection of your face in the mirror. We all see reflections of other objects also. So if you see your face, at the back you can see or any bureau or table, that also can be seen in the mirror. That is a reflection of light. So you also see reflections of other objects that are in the front of the mirror. Now these reflections are formed by light and they are called as an image. So how do these reflections form? Reflections are formed only by the light. So the reflections formed by the light are called as images. So what are images? Reflections are formed by light are called images. Do you understand now, children? So what is images? What are images? Reflections are formed by the light are called as images. So what are the light sources? The objects that give off light are called as light sources. Now what is reflection? The bouncing back of light by any smooth or polished surface is called as a reflection. Then what are images? Reflections are formed by light are called as images. Now did you understand the lesson, children? Now we'll go to the exercise now. So take down this in your notebook, children. If you have the book, you can see a book and take down, you can underline the important points. And those who have not have the book, you can take down in your rough notebook. So first we'll see the fill in the blanks. So first one is materials which can be compressed or cut easily. Materials which can be compressed or cut easily are called, what is the answer, children? Materials which can be cut easily are called as soft materials. Now next is gold and diamonds are the examples of gold and diamond are the examples of shiny materials. Are the examples of shiny materials. Then materials which can be bent or stretched easily are called flexible materials. Flexible materials. The next, dash objects allow the light to pass through them. Transparent objects allow the light to pass through them. Then next. Dash is a natural source that stimulates sight and makes things visible. Light. So what is the answer for the fifth one? Light. Light is a natural source that stimulates sight. Okay, so what is the answer? Materials which can be compressed or cut easily are called as a soft materials, and gold and diamond are the examples of the shiny materials, and the materials which can be bent or stretched easily are called as a flexible materials, and the dash objects, that is transparent objects, allow the light to pass through them. Then light is a natural source that stimulates sight. Now next we will go to the match the following. So first one is light source. So light source means what will be the answer? Sun. So from where do we get the light? Sun. Next is the waterproof. So waterproof, what did I say for the waterproof example I gave for you? That is raincoat. Then next is the transparent. So for transparent what we can take? Glass. So transparent glass. Next is a translucent. Translucent vegetable oil. So what is the example I say for that? Vegetable oil. Then next is the opaque. Opaque is metal. Opaque is the metal. So these are the match the following. So light source sun, waterproof is a raincoat, transparent glass, translucent vegetables, opaque is a metal. Then they have given true or false. That is, we cannot compress, cut or bend the rough materials easily. That is true. Dull materials reflect light. Whether it is true or false, student? False. That is, dull materials do not reflect light is a true, but they have asked dull materials reflect light. So it is false. Then sandpaper is a good example for smooth materials is false. So sandpaper is rough. So they have asked smooth means false. Then opaque objects do not allow the light to pass through them. That is true. Then mirrors change the direction of light that fall on them is false. So we have finished this lesson, children. So in the next class we will conceive the next lesson. Thank you, children.